Hello, Wow It's a Mark viewer. I hope your day is going well, and welcome to Volume 1 of reading my middle school poetry from the year 2017. Today, in Volume 1, we will be going over most of my poetry, and Volume 2 will be saved for the grand finale. So grab a nice warm drink as we delve into the wonderful world of my middle school writing. Our first story of the day is from January 17th, 2017, and it's called Have a Very Lice Day. Once in my life, I had lice, so I went to the doctors. It wasn't very nice. When with the doctor, who seemed to be an actor, he pulled out a knife. It looked to be the end of my life. With my legs suddenly tied in a knot, he sat me down on a chair with a bunch of snot. Bang! The knife went down on a bottle. Then someone came out and healed me. It was Aristotle. Have a Very Lice Day captures what it feels like to go to a doctor's appointment and all the fear and anxiety that comes along with it. That was one of two stories created on January 17th, 2017. The other is titled The Frog. There is a frog in the fog. The frog, he liked to jog. The frog always trips on a log. Every time he trips, he almost gets eaten by a dog. The frog shows the experience of many joggers who fear that one tiny mistake could lead to the end of their running career. Moving on to January 24th, 2017, we have a story titled The Mark. My name is Mark. I know a guy named Clark. He says he knows Chuck Norris. Well, I know Mark Morris. This poem has no deeper meaning. I just thought I was really cool back in 2017. The start of the new month. This can mean so many things for so many people. For me, it meant I had to write more poetry. Our first story of February 1st is The Bird That Had No Wings but had wings. Born one day on the branch of life was a bird that never before could fly, it seemed. This bird's brother would keep bragging that they could fly when this one bird could not. One day, Mama Bird got brave and went to the bird that could not and cut his wings off. The next morning, when Bird got out of bed, he saw no wings on him. Bird then started to bang on Mama Bird's door, but Bird banged so hard, he banged himself away far from the branches. Bird had no wings, he could not possibly save himself. Bird then begged for Mama Bird to save him, but she was not coming. Bong! Bird hit bark on a faraway tree. The bird grew new wings, and he could fly better than his bragging brother could. The bird with no wings but had wings shows that even in our hardest times in life, where nothing seems to be going our way, with a little hard work, hope, and dedication, that we can accomplish our greatest dreams. Our second story from February 1st is also about a bird. The duck with a lot of luck. This duck, he had a lot of luck. He chucked a cup and hit a lock. The lock fell splat on the floor. The duck then clucked, but he was no chicken. The duck walked into the room with the lock. Then he saw a chipmunk holding some chalk. The duck then chucked the chipmunk and the chalk, and then a gold bar fell on the duck. The duck then chucked the gold, and then more gold fell with no luck. It seemed to be luck when the duck chucked, but it wasn't luck, and the duck then was rich. The duck with a lot of luck shows that with dedication and a little bit of luck, you too can become rich. Our final poem from February 1st is titled The Baker's Cake Lake. Bakers like to bake, and that's a fact. But it is a fact some bakers may like to make things. So it's not a fact because a baker made a lake of cake, which had to be finished really late. This baker baked a cake that was as big as his lake. But the lake was oddly shaped, so the cake would not fit in the lake. So the baker baked a cake that was oddly shaped that would fit in his lake. The baker then finished his cake lake, but then a lion came and ate the cake lake. So the baker made a second oddly shaped lake cake. The baker then made a lion-proof, tricky, silky gate. The baker made it just in time, before the lake critics came on time. The critics then said yes, just keep those lions away, and you'll be just fine. The last 3 stories work really well together because they're all rooted in the theme of dedication. The bird was dedicated and he could fly. The duck was dedicated and he became rich. And the baker was dedicated and he accomplished his dreams. The next day, February 2nd, I made a short poem titled Dad and Dust. Dad saw dust on the land. He was looking at it, the land. He didn't like the look of the land. He no liked the dust in the land. Dad and the Dust is a story about man versus nature and how sometimes we get caught up in our own hatred. This hatred distracts us from seeing the beauty in what we have. Our final story of the day was written on February 6, 2017, and it's a free verse poem, which means it's not real poetry. It's titled Rocco the Rock. Rocco is a rock with hands, feet, and a life of his own. You may think Rocco must have a bad life because he is a rock. Well, that is false. Rocco likes his life, but he never liked to be alone. But one day, Rocco the Rock was left behind, and that did not rock. Rocco was sad. His brother, Rocky, was gone. His mom, Rockette, gone. His dad, Rock, was gone. Everyone he knew was gone. His friends, gone. Family, gone. Pets, gone, gone, gone. Rocco, with no one around, thought to himself, what if everyone thought I was gone and went looking for me? But Rocco sadly was wrong. Rocco was abandoned at Plymouth Rock, the rock where Rocco lived. Rocco shouting and saying, hello, hello, hello. Suddenly, heard a voice. It sounded deep and loud. It was a rock named Plymouth. Plymouth Rock was alive all of Rocco's life. So Rocco now knew he was not alone, and he always had someone to say hi and do stuff with. But suddenly, these big things came. Plymouth said that he called them tourists. Flash, flash, shining lights came splittity splat. Slimy goop hit Rocco and Plymouth both. Crash, crash, clear things broke into pieces. Plymouth then stood up and ran with Rocco on him. Swoosh, swoosh, avoiding flashing lights, slimy goop, and crashing clear things. And out of nowhere, a crashing clear thing hit Plymouth. Plymouth fell to the ground. Lying there on the ground was Plymouth, hurt. A piece of him came off. That piece then made a new rock, and that rock became alive. Rocco looked at this new rock, and the rock said his name was Hituamampl. Rocco and Hituamampl then jumped to the ground to save Plymouth. Everything the tourists would throw down, Rocco and Hituamampl threw back at the tourists, even the flashing lights. Then the so-called tourists ran away. Rocco and Hituamampl saved Plymouth from death. But out of nowhere, something happened. One more flash of light came. And out of that light was Rocco's brother, mom, dad, friends, and pets. Rocco saw this and was happier than he ever was before. And still, to this day, if you are a tourist, Plymouth Rock is seen a tiny bit in a different spot than when he was found. He was very slow. He didn't run that far, but it felt far for Rocco, that's for sure. The end. Rocco the Rock shows that even when you feel the most alone in life, there's always someone out there who cares about you, even if you don't know they are there. And that's the end of Volume 1. Thank you for going on this amazing adventure with me. Hopefully you enjoyed your time enough where I can make Volume 2 a reality. Because for my sanity, I can't do it this time. The next poem is extremely special and I want to do it justice. But until we meet again, maybe subscribe. And if not, have a good life.